Yes. You're listening to Brave New Radio, 88.7 in North Jersey and streaming globally around the world on gobrave.org, TuneIn Radio app, and on Radio FX. You're listening to Brave New Radio Presents, episode 3 of Brave New Radio Presents. And this week we have an artist, a hip-hop instrumentalist artist from Elizabeth, New Jersey. It goes by the name of Brainorchestra. What's going on, Brain? How you doing?
What's up? How you doing, man? I'm chilling.
Yeah, you feeling good tonight?
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, we're looking forward for you to play some really cool, dope beats that you brought for us today. So, we'll get into the conversation a little bit later. Let's just go straight into it and start the party, man.
Fly, I got you, man.
Awesome, man. Brainorchestra in the building, ladies and gentlemen, here on Brave New Radio Presents. Dude, I really dig those trippy vibes, man. Almost it's like it just sends you in a whole different world sometimes, man.
Word.
So tell us, how did you come up with the name Brainorchestra?
I don't know. It was kind of like I was trying to think of something clever, I guess, a few years back, and I was just like thinking how a lot of producers will we tend to sit down with sometimes ideas in our head already, and we're able to kind of map it out, on our machines and our programs and whatever. And it kind of just felt like, we formulate things and write music in our head before things happen. And I've always kind of been that way with hearing samples and just getting an idea right away and being able to just chop it up and do it, or get close to the idea. So.
Right. So almost I guess playing off the your name is orchestrating music within your head. Within
yeah,
your
I mean,
brain,
everybody just has, that's usually how it is though, because it's all ideas that we think about,
Right, right.
and moods and whatever,
Right. And one thing that you made very clear to me when we were setting up here is that you do not use a laptop. That's not your thing.
Nah, I just don't use a laptop live as much. I make music on a laptop. I also use hardware my MPC and the SP555 but I just kind of like to mess with both worlds, you know what I mean? And
right.
But live I usually just use the SP playing beats, and I'll use a laptop sometimes when I'm using my percussion rig. It's a bigger setup. It's a lot more I guess ambient and bigger sounding sets, just with live effects and stuff. So I'll use the laptop for that, but I'm pretty soon I'm gonna be not using the laptop. I'm gonna figure out a way to just run mics through other stuff.
Just incorporating the sampler as much as you can. Yeah,
sampler and pedals and loop stuff. You know what I mean? I just I like using laptops, but I love the analog aspect of live, and it also just sounds way better. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot more clean and natural.
Absolutely. And I mean, I see some of your earliest work dating back to 2014. I think, did you start creating ambient music before then, or was it starting during that period? What got you inspired to really start creating ambient sampled music?
I mean, I've been making beats for, I would say, about a good 6 years, and performing for 4. But I have releases up from 2012, 2013, I think, on my Bandcamp, a little bit earlier than 2014. But 2014, I was more focused on the shift of how I was making my beats and how they were different than just regular hip hop, you know what I mean, instrumentals turning into progressive beats, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So does that mean that this time around you incorporate different samples? Or?
Yeah, just trying to expand the palette and listening to different samples, using different samples, and just kind of not limiting myself to drum break and cuts, you know what I mean, stuff like that. I mean, it's cool once in a while, but I like to kind of just go all out.
All right.
So
I got you, man, and it's sounding really great right now. So
thank you.
I gotta tell you, even with just watching the sampler do its thing, and you were kind of controlling the sampler, it's pretty cool. All right, so let's continue the party, man. You're doing them
cool.
Oh, wonderful. BrainOrchestra here on Brave New Radio, everybody. Give it up a hand. Nice job. My man, so you said you've been sampling music now for about 6 years, right? So take us through your creative process. Like, how often are you practicing? Where do you practice?
I mean, I'm usually at my home studio back in Elizabeth, you know what I mean? Or at other various studios like in Jersey and Brooklyn, but mainly my house and just my comfortable space, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I'm like a relaxed creative. I don't know, I don't really like try to pump too much work out. Like, I don't feel like I have to create like every single day to like be like on top of it. I kind of just create like when I just feel like real inspired. You know what I mean? It happens often though, so it's not like I'm not making. It's not like I take 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Off.
Yeah, I gotta say, because you've released like about 3 EPs a year or so. Like 2 or 3 EPs a year.
You know, since it's like beats, I like to just kind of keep people seeing where the progression is going. You know what I mean? After this year, for sure, I was like more so going to be concentrating on, you know, making the releases bigger and having, you know, better like marketing behind it and stuff like that. But besides that, you know, just I always practice. Like I usually use this as like an audio interface, so I'll be sitting there messing with the beats that I make, right, you know, lining right through the line in, and just like cooking up like that. And usually before shows, I'll like rehearse and try to make a set or something.
So do you create these beats in your head and then kind of just like play it out through the sample, or are you like just messing with the sample?
It's like I'll listen to samples. I'll take some time and listen to some things, and once I hear something like that just has a nice like feel to it, I'll just try to formulate something before it's like down in the program, so I could just kind of just like have a vibe of what kind of feel I'm trying to go for. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go in aimlessly and dump a sample and try to cook up, you know. But for the most part, I like to like listen and see what, you know, what can happen before.
So very free form.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right, cool. So and then some of the samples, like, you know, like when you have vocal samples or anything like that, do you watch a lot of movies? Do you watch a lot of cartoons, like TV?
So I'm always watching like stuff, or I'm finding stuff online that's like people saying crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like weird things.
What would you say is like the one thing that kind of stuck out to you when you watch a movie or cartoon? It was like, oh, I got to use that as in my beats and my samples.
Oh man, there's this one in here that's this one right here.
What are you waiting for?
And it was from a clip.
Come on.
Of this dude, like,
Come on.
I guess it was about like people trying to like take over like Indian like reservation areas like in this film. It's like very old. Okay. And I guess like the dude is like trying to intimidate the Indians, and then basically what happens after that is like they all come up and do like this war chant kind of thing. It's another sample. It's somewhere in here. And it was just crazy. I was like, yo, I was like, that just sounds wild, like just to have as a, you know, a cut. Like nobody's like really, I haven't heard it, so, you know.
Yeah. Are you able to watch movies and TV without having to think, oh, I could use that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love like just, cause that's the type of stuff that inspires me a lot. Like just taking those outside sources, you know what I mean? They inspire me in other ways, but some, you know, it happens though. Sometimes you hear something and you're like, yo, that would be good, you know?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, you definitely do it. You come out with a lot of, you've been creating a lot of beats, at least throughout the years, what I've been seeing online. So take us through the process of your most recent album, Labyrinth Window?
Labyrinth Wins?
Yeah, Labyrinth Wins.
Word through DM tapes. Yeah, that was released back in August, right? But the tapes kind of took some time to get manufactured. But yeah, those guys hit me up to like do a release with them, and I was like down because their lineup of releases was pretty tough. You know, they had like a bunch of crazy like artists that they already released. So I was like, I had like a folder of beats I didn't know what I was really doing with, so I just kind of passed it over and got it done. You know.
Cool.
So,
how long did that take for you?
Oh, well, those beats, my projects are weird because it's like I don't really like, you know, like when I know I want to work on an album, like I won't like, I'm not the type of artist to like, all right, these 5 months, like I'm working on the album. Mm-hmm. Like I'm kind of just creating, and when I get that, you know, that push like from a track, like all right, this is like far beyond, you know, this track, whatever, this could be good for the album or an album that I'm trying to work on. So, I mean, it took from all the music that was there, it was like 2 years worth of music, I guess, just because it's like, it was made at different times, you know what I mean? So, some beats on there are like 2 years old. So it's like, I kind of just put things aside and wait until it accumulates.
Yeah, gotcha. It's freeform as freeform gets, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome. You're listening to Brainorchstra repping Elizabeth, New Jersey tonight.
Word up.
Man.
Eastwick.
Yeah, let's keep it going, brother. You're doing really well. Awesome. Brain, what kind of music do you listen to?
Man, I like listening to a lot of 1970s like library jazz fusion type stuff. I mean 80s, you know what I mean, KPM type stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
cool.
tough. It's and just 70s, 80s music in general, like kind of everything. Honestly, I have records like disco records and jazz records and funk records and blues records and just obscure records and Spanish records. Like I love it all. Like the 70s and 80s were like, they were so progressive, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I get a lot of like inspiration from that because they just were like killing it. You know what I mean?
Any specific artists from the 70s and 80s, that funk movement that really influenced you in your beat sampling?
I mean, just, like all the greats, you know what I mean? Like Otis Redding, Grover Washington Jr., Roy Ayers, like, bro, you know what I mean? There's so many names, ridiculous, like, just, it's inspirational, Prince, like, rest in peace, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, for sure.
Just, Bobby, feel me? It's just like everybody was mad crazy back then. It was like more to prove in the time. It was just wild, you know what I mean? So
I hear you. So what about a little bit of the modern music? Do you still listen to do you get?
For sure, I'm into like everything, like Playboy Cardi to like
so do you
J.
build
Cole and
do you
stuff
build
like
some influence like from hip hop artists and or like electronic artists today? Or
like I love listening to it all because I feel like it's all like limitless, But I try to I don't try to. I always steer more to like the older stuff just because it was just like so progressive and careless. Like it was like really dope. You know what I mean? So, but there's a lot of new stuff that like amazes me, like the way people play live or like make beats. Stuff is people are just figuring out the craziest ways to do it. So
for sure, man,
it's tight.
And you've been building your experience and your influence now playing live. I mean, you just recently came back from a West Coast tour. San Fran and Los Angeles. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, LA was tight. I didn't get to hit San Fran, unfortunately.
Okay.
LA definitely was tight. You know what I mean? Always love going out there. Shouts to the Beat Cinema folk, and just all the homies out there, man. Chad and I was out there with the homie Roland and Foisey. It's just good to see everybody out there, you know what I mean? And
was that your first time playing outside of the East Coast?
Nah.
Okay.
I've played in LA quite a few times, Florida, Boston, Massachusetts. Played in a few places, PA, you know what I mean? New York, of course.
Yeah.
So
tell us a little bit about the first time that you got on stage and started like performing your beats that you were creating yourself, in front of like a large crowd. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh yeah, it was I remember it was at a Newark Seed Gallery in Newark, 210 Market Street. It used to be submerged. It was like this crazy venue that ended up getting renovated, but it got renovated to like an art gallery, and we started doing shows there like when we were like way younger, you know what I mean? But we were wilding in there. So I ended up coming across like, beat sets and stuff like that prior, like a year or two prior. But I was like working on beats and how to work a beat set. So I eventually got to play one at Newark Seed. It was like a crazy show. Mad people, stuff.
What year was this?
Man, 2012, 2011, 2012.
Wow, okay.
Probably, yeah. But then I started taking like beat sets like way more serious when I really started understanding them. Like that beat set wasn't like up to par, I guess, but it was good. You know what I mean? For what it was, I mean, it was an incredible moment, but it was like definitely like a starting point of where I am now and how I'm doing it now,
I hear you. Do you have any artists who come up to you that say, "Hey man, I want you to produce beats for me," so then they can add their vocals on it? Or you consider like having vocalists on your songs?
Oh yeah, like I be doing business with some writers and stuff. There's a few that I willingly like to work with. I mean, given that like I'm not really too into working with vocalists all the time, just because it's very rare that you find somebody that like really understands where you're coming from and how to like build and, you know, just create stuff, you know what I mean, without having to really like go through any hassles or anything. You know, there's a very few of those, but you know, I'd be selling beats to rappers and singers and stuff, and it's cool, you know what I mean? I like it because I like to see how people feel and how they interpret the beat and what they write, because that's what always amazed me about beats, like the mood it gives off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. We mentioned a few times earlier already in this program that you're from Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, how long have you been living in Elizabeth, and how has the neighborhood, Elizabeth, that city really influenced you and your music?
Word, man. I mean, my whole life, really, been living in Elizabeth. So the influence is just, it's kind of like it's just a melting pot of a city. It's just all types of people and all types of things to do, and I guess things to experience, people to experience, and just different, I guess, perspectives on life, really, because everybody lives different out there. It's all types of, you know, all types of people. So it's dope. Big creative pool, you know what I mean? Shouts to all the homies that are out there, you know what I mean? Because a lot of amazing things, a lot of art, a lot of music, and skateboarding for sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of culture.
For sure, yeah, it's crazy out there. It's pretty dope. So it inspired me, you know, a lot. And not that I'm like different from a lot of people that are from there, but like I just took like my experiences and kind of try to implement it with the beats in a different way, you know, and like the feels that I get, you know, living out there. So.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Okay. Any like interesting characters in Elizabeth who you would want to sample? Like, say you go to like a, you know, like a chicken spot, for instance, or whatever, and then you're like, I'm just gonna like use this guy.
I mean,
who comes
there's
in
so many. I mean, I could just go on Broad Street and
Yeah, exactly.
find somebody saying something crazy as hell. But I don't know. Damn, anywhere really. That's actually something I was trying to do recently, like record just where I'm at, like voices and people talking, or just in spaces and places, whatever.
Right.
And I'll probably catch something crazy. I mean, I did it the other day in Newark. I was driving back super late, and there was like some guy on the intercom. I guess he was like preaching something, but he was speaking in Arabic, and it's like the way it was echoing through like the city, it was just like ridiculous. I was blocks away, but I was able to record like 15 seconds of it.
Wow.
So it's funny you bring that up. Like there's just sounds everywhere, you know.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
you
so
can
you can
finesse
really
it.
use anything, incorporate it into your sound, into your music, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're doing an awesome job, man. I think let's get into this final set for the night.
Wow.
Let's bring this party. Brainorchestra, ladies and gentlemen, man. Nicely done, dude. That was awesome, man.
Thank you.
Brain, please tell the people, where can we find you and some of your upcoming shows?
Word, man. BrainOrchestra.net. Just released the LP, Elevatum. It's a 7-inch, 4-track. Comes with a mini booklet. Check that out, you know what I mean? Limited edition, 50 copies. All my social links and everything are over there, and shop and contact and whatever. I'm playing Rough Trade the 20th with my homie Riz LeVay. Shouts to him. He's on tour right now, so he's gonna finish off his tour in New York at Rough Trade, and I'm gonna open up, support him. So be there. I know I got another show on the 30th, but I'm just waiting on some details. It's definitely gonna be in Brooklyn. Atlanta the 3rd and Boston the 8th. So moving around a little bit for the after and before the holidays, I guess. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Well, continuing your tour, man. Best of luck to you. Awesome beats, awesome samples, man. That really sends you on a trip, man. If you just close your eyes and you vibe out and you really have a good time
Appreciate it,
doing
man.
it. So awesome. Thank you for making the time for being here, man.
You already know.
Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're listening to Brave New Radio Presents here on Brave New Radio. Stay tuned all day long, all week long, all month long. Why? Because you're listening to the nation's #1 college radio station here on Brave New Radio. Thank you, Brainorchestra.
Peace.
Peace out.